You are not going to believe what I just watched. I had to walk outside, cool off, come back, and I'm still fired up because what happened tonight wasn't just a loss. It was a full-blown coaching malfunction, and I need to break down every single piece of it before I explode. Sit down, buckle up, because we are getting into it right now. The Indiana Fever just dropped a game they had no business dropping to a Dallas Wings team that had lost 8 of their last 11. Let that sink in. 8 of 11. And somehow, someway, Stephanie White's game plan handed them a win on a silver platter. I'm not here to just say the Fever lost. Losses happen. What I'm here to talk about is how this loss happened, because the how is what's driving me up the wall. Let's start from possession 1. The very first play of the game was drawn up for Kelsey Mitchell. Caitlin Clark delivers a clean bounce pass. Mitchell turns the corner, draws a foul, walks to the line. Fine, that's one play. But then it kept happening, and happening, and happening. Every single play in the first half ran through Kelsey Mitchell. I'm not knocking Mitchell for that. She didn't call the plays. She just played the role she was given, and she played it well. We'll get to her numbers in a second. But when literally every set, every action, every look is designed around one player, nobody else on the roster gets a chance to find any rhythm. Not Clark, not Sophie Cunningham, not anybody. Think about that for a second. In the second quarter, the Fever didn't run a single ball screen action for Caitlin Clark, the reigning face of the offense, the point guard who makes this entire system go, until 15 seconds were left on the clock. 15 seconds. An entire quarter of basketball, and Clark barely got touched in the offense. No pick-and-roll reps, no designed catch-and-shoot look from 3. Nothing until the third quarter. By the time she finally got involved, there was no flow, no timing, no chemistry built up. You can't expect a player, any player, let alone one operating at an MVP level, to just flip a switch after 20-plus minutes of standing around watching someone else run the show. And this is where it gets frustrating to watch as a fan, because you could see it happening in real time on the broadcast. Clark stopped even looking for ball screens by the third quarter because she knew they weren't coming. You could see her hesitate, catch the ball, glance around, and just reset instead of attacking, because the offense wasn't built to get her downhill. Once you're conditioned that many possessions in a row to not expect the ball back after you give it up, you stop initiating. That's not a lack of aggression from a leadership standpoint. That's a response to a system that wasn't designed to involve her. Let's talk numbers, because the box score tells its own story. Clark finished with 10 points, 9 assists, 4 rebounds, shooting just 4 of 15 from the field and 2 of 8 from 3. Those shooting numbers are rough, no doubt, but context matters. A guard who spends 3 quarters barely touched by the offense and then is suddenly expected to generate offense out of nothing in the fourth is not being set up for success. Meanwhile, Kelsey Mitchell put up 37 points on 9 of 18 shooting, 4 of 7 from 3, a perfect 15 of 15 from the free throw line. That is an outstanding shooting night. Full stop. Mitchell deserves real credit for finishing at that level with that much volume funneled her way. But when the game plan for 3 straight games running has centered entirely on manufacturing a big scoring night for one player, at some point you have to ask what happens to team-wide rhythm and ball movement. Sophie Cunningham went scoreless from 3. Not because she can't shoot, she's a career 3-point threat, but because by the time she got real looks, the game was already slipping away and there was no built-up rhythm to work with. Lexi Hull had a solid, quiet 9 points. The role players were largely afterthoughts in the broader offensive structure. Now let's get into the front court, because this is where the game really got away from Indiana. Aliyah Boston finished with 14 points and 9 rebounds. Respectable counting stats on paper, but the underlying impact wasn't there. She got outworked physically by Jessica Shepard, who caught fire in the first half and finished with 26 points and 8 rebounds off phenomenal shooting efficiency. Boston, who's making roughly $6 million this season, needs to be setting the tone as a screener and finisher at the rim, and on multiple possessions the screens simply weren't solid enough to spring anyone open. For a player at that salary level, at that positional importance, the physicality and rim finishing have to be there consistently, and tonight it wasn't. Myisha Thompson actually gave the Fever a spark off the bench. 11 points, 12 rebounds, real energy. That's the kind of front-court activity Indiana needed more of across the roster. On the other side, Eric Ogunbowale dropped 32 for Dallas, and Paige Bueckers had a quieter statistical night. 13 points, 8 assists, 6 rebounds on 5 of 16 shooting. But her fingerprints were all over the game in terms of setting up possessions. There were stretches where both Bueckers and Clark looked like they weren't fully locked in, which happens in a long season. But it's also a symptom of a broader issue. A lack of crisp, purposeful offensive design on Indiana's end made it hard for anyone to stay engaged in a rhythm-based way. Here's my bottom line on Stephanie White's game plan. When you build 3 straight games almost entirely around funneling touches to one scorer, you're not running an offense, you're running a hot hand experiment. It worked in terms of Mitchell's raw scoring output, but it left your best two-way engine, Caitlin Clark, disconnected from the flow of the game for long stretches, and it left shooters like Cunningham cold when opportunities finally did arrive. Good offensive systems create rhythm for multiple players simultaneously. They don't sacrifice ball movement and pace just to chase one big scoring line, especially against a team that had been struggling as much as Dallas had coming into this one. If the Fever want to be a genuine title contender rather than a team that occasionally catches fire around one hot scorer, the coaching staff has to find a balance. Get Kelsey Mitchell involved? Absolutely. She's earned that trust, but not at the expense of building actual read and react actions for Clark, actual catch and shoot reps for the wings, and actual paint touches for the bigs. Losing to a team that had dropped 8 of 11 isn't a fluke. It's what happens when your offensive identity narrows instead of expands as the season goes on. That's my breakdown. What did you see out there? Did the offense feel lopsided to you too? Or am I overreacting? Drop your take in the comments. Let me know if you agree or think I'm being too hard on the game plan here. Appreciate everybody pulling up for this one. Catch you in the next video.